Hey everybody, welcome to another recap of The Amazing Race. My buddy Homer is here, and please excuse the noise. The water softener is doing a backwash. Alright, very sophisticated studio we've got here. So yes, The Amazing Race, Final Four. The players got to sleep in the giant atom in Brussels, which looked amazingly cool. Then when they were released, they got this box of costumes that they had to put on, which were actually from the cartoon Tintin. And I'm really surprised they didn't tie in the fact that the movie is coming out right now. I guess they just wanted people to subtly realize that. But they had to figure out who they were dressed as, who Tintin was, and find the mural where Tintin was, the live action guy. So it wasn't that easy for Andy and Tommy because they totally thought that they were Charlie Chaplin, which set them back a little bit. But then they hit up a computer and did a little Google search and found out that they were either Johnson & Johnson, Thompson & Thompson, or DuPont & DuPont. So the next clue sent them to Panama City, Panama. And when they got there, they had to take a boat to the village of Ibarra. So everybody's on the same flight. It kind of equaled it up a little bit, except when they got to where they were going, Jeremy and Sandy's boat got stuck. They had to sign up for these temporary tattoos 10 minutes apart from 7 to 7:40. So they figure out that the tattoos are sending them to San Francisco Bay Towers. Oh Lord, in Panama City. Very tall buildings. Well, tall for Panama City. They were 35 stories, but it's a roadblock. You have to walk a tightrope between the two buildings and back 35 stories up. So Sandy's kind of afraid of heights, but the whole thing went rather smoothly, I must say. I probably would not be able to do it, but she came through like a champ, even with the boys teasing her. So it just wasn't as bad as it sounded and looked. Everybody came through it pretty well. So from the next clue, in the clue, they had to figure out that they need to go to the Ferdinand de Lesseps statue, where there's a detour. And I was thinking the whole time, Real Housewives of New York, Countess de Lesseps. I wonder if it's any relation to her ex. Alright, so it's either a fillet or a sole. In the fillet challenge, you had to go to the fish market and deliver assorted seafood to assorted vendors in the fish market. And in sole, you had to make a pair of sandals out of a single piece of leather. So everyone chose the making of the sandals except for Amani and Marcus. Although their cab driver mistakenly took them to the shoe thing, which I thought was pretty dumb that they were like, no, we don't want to do shoes, take us to the other one, because I thought they had wasted a lot of time, but it ended up that they didn't really waste a lot of time because no one else was doing the fillet one, so they pretty much had the run of it, so it went pretty quickly without everybody else there. Andy and Tommy were really great at making the shoes, too. It wasn't exactly like they were Manolo Blahniks, but I mean, they were pretty cheesy sandals, but still, it looked a little bit complicated to make. Next part of the race is Cathedral Square, where there's dancers, and they have clues on their dress and on their belt. So, it's supposed to be showing you where the pit stop was, and the boys, Andy and Tommy, thought it was Balboa, because that's what it said on the money on their necklaces. But it wasn't. And their cab driver first took them to the Panama Canal, and then the guy at the canal was like, no, there's a statue of Balboa, take them there. And guess what? The pit stop wasn't there either. So the final other three teams were looking at the dancers, and everybody thought it was Balboa except for Jeremy and Sandy, and then they figured out from the belt, they sketched it and they asked somebody that it was Panama Viejo. Now these cab drivers are like freaking old ladies. They call each other. And between all of the cab drivers that were driving around, they figured out that they all need to be going to the same place, which was Panama Viejo. But Jeremy and Sandy came in first, and they won a trip for two to Turks and Caicos, which is not too shabby. Then Ernie and Cindy, and then Amani and Marcus, which means Andy and Tommy came in last place and are eliminated, which really sucks for them. Yeah, because they have won 6 legs of the race. I mean, they won some cool stuff along the way, but don't you think they deserve to be in the finals? Apparently not, because it only takes one terrible mistake and you're gone. But they had great attitude, so hooray for them. I feel bad, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. Next time it's the finale in Hotlanta. Cannot wait. Till then, much love.